What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing good. Nigerians and South Africans will go to war. Yes, and I mean literally to go to war. President Cyril Ramaphosa is not happy at all. The president of Nigeria is ready to deploy. And the recruiting men to get ready for destruction. Nah, I'm just joking. Something really negative is happening between Nigeria and South Africa. And it's very worrisome. So it's crazy, it's insane. For some reason, a young South African man decided to order Uber from Nigeria. So basically you change VPN, you log yourself into Nigeria and you order Uber or Bolt from one spot to the other. Now what occurred was this Bolt driver had driven to the location that was indicated on the app. As soon as he got there, the young man started playing with him. Like, hey, can you not see me? Move to your left, move to your left. And the Bolt driver was like, I can't hear you. Bolt is another version of Uber. Okay? Just like Uber, but it's another version. He said, move to the left. No, come to the next street. But all while doing that, he was not in Nigeria. He was in South Africa. And after he did that, he posted that on TikTok, encouraging other young South Africans to do the same. And many people in South Africa started ordering Bolt in Nigeria from one place to the other. So what will happen is these drivers will drive to the destination, and as soon as they get to the destination, there's no clients to pick up. So what happens? You lose money, you lose fuel, and it's frustration. As you can imagine, this is people's parents, people's father, somebody's husband, somebody's brother, somebody's father trying to make a living, and somebody else in the other side of Africa ordering Bolts and making mockery out of them just because they can. Well, unfortunately, for once, Nigerians replied. They replied emphatically. Let alone, Nigeria is a massive population country, okay? They have over 300 million population, I think, something like that. While South Africa is just below 50 million or something. And a lot of Nigerians came online. Let me remind you that Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa that has the most access to internet. So they're very well connected, and they came together, started doing the same to South Africa. They changed their locations and ordering Bolt and Ubers to some very far away location where you're going to spend a lot of money and a lot of fuel from your car. And as soon as you get there, they do the very same game South Africans were doing to them. Switch off the phone or play with them. There's even a guy that's ordered about 20 different Ubers to the same location, and they all came and parked in the same location looking at each other like crazy. And later on, Nigerians did not stop there. Nigerians started ordering things from shops, from utility shops, from supermarket, foods, breads, whatever you like, to a certain place. And once they get to that place, that person didn't order, and it's crazy. What happened was then these apps started asking South Africans to make payment before the delivery was done. Do you understand? Prior to that, you could order food and pay at the door. You could select that you couldn't pay at the door, a delivery. After Nigerians did that to South Africans, that option was taken away because these companies felt like they were losing money by sending drivers to people's location where they never ordered anything. It's a waste for them. Now, after Nigeria did what Nigeria did, Uber then suspended the option of inter-country ordering. So you cannot order an Uber or a Bolt from Nigeria, and Nigerians could not order Bolt or Uber from South Africa. Many accounts were banned because they were excessively canceling orders. So it's created mayhem. So this is just plain, I don't know how you feel about this. I think this is absolute stupidity. This is stupidity. This is somebody being absolutely stupid, being an ass, and saying, okay, I'm gonna create mayhem and trouble somebody somewhere far because I don't like those people. Let me remind you that South Africans and Nigerians don't get along very much. Matter of fact, many Nigerians live in South Africa for economical reasons. Many perhaps feel that they have much better opportunities living in South Africa. And many black South Africans do not appreciate Nigerians in their country because the Nigerians, for most cases, have been accused of doing negative, illegal things, such as selling drugs, human trafficking guns, scams, fakery, and many other things. And they don't like that. And because they don't like that, it's extended to many levels. Now, some people feel like this has something to do with what happened a few weeks earlier with Vanessa Chidima Adesina. this young lady from a Nigerian father and a Mozambican mother. Many people believe she was South African because her mom was South African. And only later on they discovered that mom was actually from Mozambique and her identity was a forgery. It was not real. It was apparently bought or stolen from somebody. I mean, you can perhaps steal somebody's identity by them selling the identity. It's an option. Option number 2 is the officer of the Home Office or Home Affairs can sell somebody's identity without necessarily you having to do that. Number 3 is the Home Office officers or Home Affairs officers are also as guilty, if not more guilty, than the person that purchases. Because this one's supposed to be a South African brother selling a South African ID to a foreigner. That is treason if that's done. So Chidima was a participant in Miss South African Universe pageant. She was eliminated because, not eliminated, but she was subjected to so much bashing online. Many people did not like her because the name sounded like Chi. And in South Africa, you don't get those surnames. Okay, and many South Africans, black South Africans, did not like her at all because they felt she did not represent the South African culture, especially not the black culture, because they feel like she should be able to speak black South African language. And if she doesn't speak any South African language, even though English apparently is included to South African languages, she doesn't represent. Because she doesn't represent, she should be taken out of the competition. Investigation was done. They found out that, unfortunately, before she was conscient, she was an infant. Obviously, her mom did things that were not regular, were not legal. She acquired an ID for her daughter, which obviously makes her illegal to compete. So she decided to drop off the competition, and Nigeria surprisingly invited her to come and compete for Nigeria. And right now she's doing extremely good, competing with other Nigerian ladies, even though apparently some Nigerians were not very happy that she came to compete with these ladies. And that spurred a lot of things online. So that's where this came from, the hatred back and forth, many South Africans being against this girl, many Nigerians replying to that saying this is unacceptable. Also, many Africans not necessarily being happy to see that finally Miss South Africa happened to be a white woman, not a black woman. They ask questions saying, how does that white woman represent your culture? She doesn't. She's French. And South Africans don't perceive it that way. They feel like they are a rainbow nation. Rainbow nation, many colors, many different skin tones. And many black Africans say the rainbow nation unfortunately does not have the black color on it. So it was a big issue between South Africans and Nigerians. So yeah, I think that's an absolute stupid thing to do. Order something from the country just because you don't like the people, just to create mayhem. Because that's hit the economy. That's hit the system. And just think about it. When you do something like this, then at the end of the day, they stop you from paying for things you could have paid face to face with the seller or the deliverer. Now they say you must, for now, pay online. Who's hurting? I think people need to grow up. The bottom line is South Africa is not going anywhere, so Nigeria is not going anywhere. You don't necessarily have to like each other, but you can respect one another. I think that's what it is. There's no space for hatred in Africa. Yeah, there's no space for that. When you go to somebody else's country, you need to respect the rules. No doubt about that. You must do legal things. Do not sell drugs or shoot people or do anything of that matter. Do not do criminality. And also, not liking somebody just because he's different than you, it's absolutely stupid. And feeling like an Indian will love you better than or whatever, feeling better for an Indian than you feel for an African, it's absolutely stupid. The bottom line is go to India, go see how they're going to treat you as a black person. Go to India and see how it's going to treat you. And this is so unnecessary. I think this is stupid. I don't believe all Nigerians are criminal. They're not. Are all Nigerians criminal? No, they're not. Are many of them who go to foreign lands criminals? Some of them are, no doubt about it. And it's sad. Are all South Africans hatred of Africans? No, they're not. Many South African women actually do prefer foreign men. Well, they're not going to say it in front of people. They're not going to be open about it. But yeah, yes, absolutely. You know, let me tell you something. You know, many white people say they don't date black people. Go to a country where there's blacks and whites. If you happen to pass where there are prostitutes, you will see black prostitutes with white johns. So just because people portray themselves in a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that's how they are. I firmly believe we need to be more tolerant with each other. Okay, we need to be more accepting of one another. Okay, so in Kenya, there's this guy who's unalived 42 people. He ran away. He disappeared. Okay, he vanished for some reason because apparently the police let him out. So he gave some money to the police, to the guard, and He disappeared.
Our preliminary investigation indicated that the escape was aided by insiders, considering that officers were deployed accordingly to guard the station.
So now Kenyans are offering $1,450 to whoever has idea to where to find this person. I mean, $1,450. Okay, it's a lot of money in Kenya for the average person, you know, who doesn't earn that, no doubt. But hey, that's not enough. Come on, guys. That's not enough. Get people moving. Give them some real money, man. Put $10,000 at least on that person's head. I understand this is Africa. Put 10,000. Why are you so stingy? Ah, man. Bye-bye.